Move over, McLaren F1. Step aside, Koenigsegg CCR. Nice try, Ultimate Aero TT, but Bugatti has you all beat. The new Veyron Supersport makes 1,200 horsepower, 1,106 pound-feet of torque, and just shattered the production land speed record. How fast? Try 268 miles per hour. To find out how it all went down, we talked to Pierre-Henri Raffinal, the pilot of the Veyron Supersport during its record-breaking run. Okay, so I'm here with Pierre-Henri Raffinal. He's Bugatti's official pilot and also the world record holder for the production car top speed record. Now, Pierre-Henri, tell me, what exactly did you do when you did the top speed record?
Basically, we tried the car on overall, which is based in Erlising, which is in Germany, where we're doing all the tests for all the private car and the future car. And it's an overall of 23 kilometers with a straight line of 8 kilometers. And for the world record, you have to achieve that in both directions. So you have to do 2 attempts, and they will take the average speed.
And how fast was the average speed?
The average speed was 431 kilometers, which is around 268 miles per hour. So I had to do actually one run at 260 miles and one run which was very close to 270 miles.
Holy moly. Now, what was it like at that speed?
I think it's like you are in an area where you're discovering, things. Each kilometer it's making a new feeling, a new word, a new sensation. And even if we have been preparing that to achieve that, because a car is made for speed, it's always a discovery. And you always like discovering one direction, the other direction. The tarmac is different from one direction to the other direction. Is when like you're shaving, one side is smooth, the other one is more rough, and it's the same with tarmac, and it's an old experience, a lot of stress coming out of that things, because you know that if something is going wrong, you have a basic chance not to come back to the pits to tell your engineer what was wrong. So it's like stressful, but also super exciting.
Can you explain how you actually did it? You told me before you start at a certain speed coming down the banking. Can you explain from basically when you really went after it?
You have a procedure to try to make it as efficient as possible, and on this overall, you starting and just trying to go as quick as possible to 7-speed gear, trying to use like 200 kilometers, 120 miles, and then you go through the banking with the same speed, just changing gears down up to 4th, and just basically upping making the rev getting higher. And then when you are out of the banking, you just let the gears going up 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and you just try to stay in the middle lane and wait to see the figures stopping to the counter.
I see. So what was the feeling like when you knew you had it? Like when you did that, say, close to 270.
We knew anyway that we were going to beat the world record, because we beat it not by a small margin. So the margin was massive, but it was like a little bit unexpected. The speed will reach it because it was over the target. The target that our engineer and our boss was targeting was 425 kilometers plus something, and we achieved 431 average. So we were like at the highest average speed we could reach. The weather was very good, there was no wind, good temperature, everything was working well. And then we knew we were going to beat it, but not at that speed.
But what is the 1,200 horsepower, $2.8 million Supersport like to drive? We found out in the hills of southern Spain. Okay, so here we are. First time in the Bugatti Veyron Supersport, and I'm about to put the throttle all the way down for the first time. Are you ready? Let's go. driving the Bugatti Veyron, my first time. But not just any Veyron. I drove the all-new Super Sport, which makes 1,200 horsepower and 1,500 Newton meters of torque. Absolutely insane vehicle. Certainly one of the craziest things I've ever done, and it ranks very high up on the list of all-time greatest vehicles in my book. But if I can break it down for you and tell you what it's like on a level that you might understand, you might actually get a chance to drive. In many ways, the vehicle is like the Nissan GTR. Now, I know what you're saying. Of course, the Asian guy is going to say this one-of-a-kind vehicle is like the $70,000 Japanese supercar. But it's true. I've driven Ferraris, I've driven Lamborghinis, I've driven all sorts of vehicles. But when I first got into this car, the vehicle that most came to mind, particularly at low speed, is the GTR. Now, why? Really, it has to do with the amount of noise that's in the cabin. There's quite a bit of gear noise from the 7-speed Ricardo dual clutch. You hear it at every speed, no matter whether you're low speed or high speed. It's a constant whir in the background. It's actually a little bit quieter than GTRs, that you don't hear the gears changing or meshing so much, but the sound is there. There's also quite a bit of tire noise too, especially over rough pavement. Again, it's not bad, but over a long period of time, it could be quite draining. Your ears feel very full, and you have this constant rumble, as you just heard, from the pavement. But in every other aspect, this car really is like no other. When you step on the acceleration pedal, on the gas pedal, the thing just goes. It is absolutely phenomenal. Watch this. We hit 140 miles an hour. Absolutely insane. Completely nutty. And this thing is capable of far more. It is the current record holder for world's fastest production car. Well over 260 miles an hour. Absolutely insane. So I love it. It's very fast. It's actually very easy to drive. But I don't think I'll be able to buy one. I don't think you'll be able to buy one, because the thing costs about $3 million and they're only making 30 of them. So if you want one, if you want performance like this,